Yo, what's going on, everybody?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Squad, what's going on with you?
So, welcome to the HVAC Nights show. Podcast, everything.
All the good.
So we're podcasting now?
Yeah, I think that's what you wanted to do, right, Jake?
Pretty much, yeah, all day long. That's kind of what I signed up for,
We don't know what we're doing, honestly. Man, I need to get Jake to do the intros or something, or are you feeling it today?
What you need? Well, I mean, I'll do it. I can turn it on and off.
I think we've all had some pretty long days, right? Because even though summer's over, I think we've all stayed pretty busy.
It's weird, dude. I know Curtis got real cold there. We just had some big jobs, and of course, we scheduled them for now, but then calls just were rolling in. It was wild. It's good.
It's good for business.
Facts, bro.
All right, man. So today's topic, if everybody saw the title, is about tech support. So I think we can go into that, right away and kind of talk about the different experiences we've had. And there's already comments. I haven't even looked at the chat.
So
something. What got me started on it was my experience with calling in to train tech support, and the guys not knowing jack about what I was talking about, and it was about one of those electronic expansion valves.
Mm-hmm.
And they really put me down the wrong path, and because it was something I wasn't hugely familiar with, I was kind of leaning on them, and I probably shouldn't have.
For sure, stuff like that, man. They're proprietary systems, variable speed. It's the best case is training, obviously, right? But not all the time. You can't just do it. But yeah, I've been in an instance too where their tech support was ass and couldn't give you. But if something fails on that, you need a verification from them to get a certain part. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you can't walk
so
through it.
that was that EEV that you had?
Yes.
So train themselves just sent you down the wrong path.
Yeah, they told me that the EEV almost never fails.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've never I used to be big on the train XVs like that at my last company, and we generally never had to. Most of the time, I think we were talking about it before. They got a little muffler tube assembly, and there's a screen in there, almost like a regular TXV, or the stepper motor or a sensor. Generally, is what screws those things up. But did you have a board issue after you ended up going back from the EEV?
Yeah, I did. Well, it wasn't a board. Well, it wasn't a board. It was the pressure transducer.
Okay.
The big boy.
It was reading the wrong pressure and feeding the wrong information to the board, which screwed everything up.
Yeah, because I had that same thing with Heatcraft over on the refrigeration side, right? Going to everything electrical, which it still kind of surprises me, being in freezers, there's a lot of condensation, there's defrost, there's freezing temperatures. And we had one, man, I didn't take a picture of it recently, that the fan, yeah, and that's what I wanted to tell guys. I appreciate everybody who came out to watch the show and everything. We are going to start introducing a few different segments, which one we'll show in a bit. And that's one thing. If you guys have any pictures, I don't know if I have a banner, but why don't you just send them over to, we have an email now, the hvacnights@gmail.com. If you guys have any pictures that you want us to talk about, show some of the weird shit that you see in the field. Because this one I had seen, I was just so mad I didn't even record or do anything, right?
Been there.
One of the fans gave out in a walk-in freezer, and my guy was trying to go get the part or whatever, and I went to go help him out, and we had to get a bunch of ice off the coil. Well, when that kind of happens, what's the first thing that ices up? It's the EEV or the TXV or whatever, right? The metering device. There it goes into a block, and I was like, dude, you guys have been with this probably not reaching temp for like longer than today, right? Because when it's like solid ice, that's been a while.
It's been sick.
So
it takes a
that
day.
at least a day, 2 days. To me, it looked like 2 or 3 days, but that's right behind the board for that intelligent heat craft. So like as that ice grew, it actually ran into the board. So I
Jeez.
told my guy, I was like, dude, F it. Like they're supposed to take, this kind of abuse, right? They put them in the freezer. I'm assuming they can get wet. So we still did it carefully, but we defrosted around it because basically the back of the board was already getting covered in ice. There is a little shield there, a little metal shield that kind of separates it,
Deflects
but
it.
still it was like kind of going over that already. So that's the
Oh
only
my
thing with
word.
me with all this new technology, right? Is like, oh, like it can give out a little here and there just because in the environments and stuff. Like I don't know how much they can take.
Well, I don't know if I told you about the Heatcraft facility here in Tifton. They did
Oh yeah,
send me an email back saying that they would let me tour the facility and bring my camera in and ask questions. And I asked specifically about these products,
okay.
and they said they would show them to me. So I'm waiting on a date to go over there.
They're kind of pushing it because now they have like some some kits to convert old systems to this intelligent system. So they're really trying to like push it out there for you to even convert old systems easily to it. And I will say this, they are super simple to install. Like I really love that part of it. You just put them in, that it communicates very well. You don't even need anything fancy on the condenser. Like the evaporator does everything with that board.
Solid.
Super simple and all that, real easy, real friendly, but like it's the callbacks that have been really bad. Fans coming unplugged, the brackets breaking. These ECM motors are not cheap, so that's what gave out on this last one.
Oh,
And then the board, I've had like 3 of them give out. And then
Hmm.
we only service a certain area. Like after 2 to 3 hours, it's another company, and they were having the same exact issues because they started calling us like, what do we do? I'm like, dude, just change out the board. Like that's what it is.
Yeah. Lame.
So I don't know. And they've reached out to me too, but I did a few of those videos and I haven't heard back since.
Like, I ain't doing it. It's too much shit. Keeping it real. That's all it is, man. Because we all talk shit. Like, I don't know how it is for you, Adrian, with what you do. Like, if you guys are brand loyal to certain stuff, or Curtis, same thing. Like,
Hell no.
you know what I mean? You always get these customers, and it's like, whoa, what's your favorite? And like, everybody has a preference and stuff. It's just like they all suck, realistically. You know what I mean? Like, as much
Yeah.
the high failure rate we're dealing with is like is astronomical. And you can't. A lot of it, down to install, but a lot of it, it's just actual failed components, like on the roots, the damn high pressure temperature sensor just rattling loose, breaking, blowing the chart. Like
that and a Chinese capacitor 7 days after install goes
yeah,
out.
dude, you're like,
Oh,
I
that
know.
happened to me, and I was angry. I was like, man, it makes me look like crap.
Looks, yeah, yep.
Oh, I know. I
Like,
hate these callbacks because then they're like, you were just here or you installed it or something, right? And then you have to go back out there and it's like, it's not what we did. It's just this thing, something happened. And I've seen that with recently because we had a customer. We didn't end up like staying with them because they were looking for different prices, but one of their compressors gave out because they didn't have a low pressure safety on it, like for loss of charge. And it was like I believe this one was 2 compressors. It was an Allied commercial, I believe. So that's like a part of Lennox essentially. So it was a rooftop unit. I went up there. Sure enough, it was shorted out, but it lost the charge because the lines were rubbing. And that we don't usually see heat pumps down here. It's a lot of electric heat. So in this one, it had reversing valves and everything. So lines everywhere. They crammed it in there with 2 compressors.
oh yeah,
But for some reason, only one has a low pressure safety and the other one doesn't. And so happened that the one that didn't have it leaked out and it ran like that and it started tripping the breaker. So that compressor shorted out. And I started looking around because it was just the 2 copper lines that were rubbing on each other from the like the suction side. I went around because they have like 3 or 4 other units like that, right? And I was like, I'm just curious. Let me go look around. All of them were touching. So I had to go in there and like bend them out myself. Kind of did them a favor because like they've all would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So you're not really accustomed to working on heat pumps?
No, I just started seeing them. That was probably the
Right.
second one I had seen. And then I've seen a couple of carriers that do it now, or that they have here.
In Georgia for years now, electric heat and unvented gas heat cannot be the primary source of heat. So we've been putting in heat pumps at least 20 something years.
It's all electric here, and there's still some gas every now and then. It's the heat pumps that I really don't see. I think I have like 3 locations that might have it.
Huh.
Yeah.
And each of my customer has like 20 some locations, so
let it
it's
ride.
rare. I mean, I'm not looking forward to when I have to like change them out, but I'll go and watch one of you guys' videos.
There we go.
I've never changed a reversing valve.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to do it. You ain't got to
It sucks.
whatever best fits the scenario you got.
Straight up, dude. Like it can be good and it can be bad. Like some days it's like, man, you're freaking smooth sailing. You feel like you're on top of the world, and then shit happens and it doesn't go well.
So speaking of tech support, how have y'all been calling like Blue On or anything?
No.
You tried that one?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, when Blue On first came out, it was all about this TDX20, and then they started posting manuals and stuff, and everything for like the first few years was all commercial. There was almost no residential, so I didn't use it. And then I'm gonna say about 10 months ago, I was looking up something for one of these TAM9s or something like that for a train, and I couldn't find it. And I'm like, I don't need tech support for most things, but when I do, I go to Blue On and it's not there. So I just got to where I deleted it from my phone.
I've got a mixed bag too. Like I did use it one time to look up some parts, and it actually was very accurate. But then like before that and after that, I haven't been able to find, the stuff that I work on. Yeah, have you tried it, Kraus?
So I tried it once, because it was for a Linux system, and it was one of their communicating systems, and it was after a hurricane, and I couldn't get in touch with Linux. So for shits and giggles, I'm like, hey, we're calling Blue On, boys. And that didn't help none. He was like, yeah, you're gonna need somebody that knows what they're doing. If you just wait on the line, we'll get somebody there for you. And by that time, I was like, yeah, screw this. Got Linux back on. I had 2 phones. I worked,
okay.
and they ended up coming back through. And
Trying to get that tech support in the time that you're there is very difficult.
That's almost impossible.
Because I had one with an ice machine, but this is Manitowoc, and that one kind of frustrated me too because they called me back like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours later at the earliest, but I got like 2 different calls, but it's like their calling service or something. So like they call you just to get your info, and then they tell you, oh, somebody will call you later as soon as they can or something. And I got another call. Then I got the second one, and I thought that was going to be tech support, and it was another lady saying the same thing. I'm like, lady, I already gave my information. Like, are y'all going to call me back or not? Like,
that's the one.
And they finally, yeah. Like, I decided to film the whole thing because I was like, let's see how long it takes to get through.
Yeah. Nah, dude. Like, we can put your number in line. If you just wait, we'll give you a call back. And like you said, like you literally have 5 more calls or whatever stacked up. You can't just sit around. So like they'll call you on the way to the next one, and I'll be like, yeah, I already left it, but here's the scenarios. This is what I assumed it was, and this is what we're gonna ride with. Gil, you know what? You know what? Yeah, we'll fight, Gil. Take the money out. No, I'm kidding. I know you love your Blue On. He's awesome.
I just heard him talking about this new AI thing.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask him about it, so we'll get him on right now.
Seems epic.
So one of the segments is going to be being able to call into the show and hop on for a bit. So since we're talking about Blue One, I'm gonna bring on a couple of guys. Let me first bring on Jason Johnson. I know everybody in the chat knows this man, super smart dude. He's had, I think, a couple of calls with them. So let's get his experience. What's up, Jason? So Jason here, you actually called Blue One. Have you called them once or more than once?
I have called them more than once.
I know you work on chillers. Did you call them like for that kind of work, or what kind of work did you call them for?
No, not chillers. They were like Carrier's version of a train and telepack, and they couldn't find the manual. The guy said, "I don't think it exists." I've called them on some other stuff. I mean, granted, this is not just your everyday stuff. So I mean, it's not like it's surprising.
So that's kind of the issue that we have now. I don't expect them to know everything, have everything. So I mean that's expected, but like I feel like a lot of the stuff I work on is a little bit older, within the past like 10-15 years. Some of them are 20 years, and I've had issues finding the manuals and stuff. So do you have to have like a special account, or do you have points and all that stuff?
No, I don't.
This was before that.
It's probably been, I want to say 6-8 months since I've tried to call them. It's not something I've used very often.
Yeah, like I mostly use it to look up parts sometimes, right? If I need to know like what motors it has, or little things like that, then I'll reference it and look it up. It's awesome when it works. And then I know they have their tech support, and supposedly their tech support goes beyond just the AC stuff, because I've been asking, can we have one of these for like refrigeration, right? Like a lot of us do commercial reefer. I know Jason does a lot of chiller stuff, and sometimes I need help on that kind of stuff, like looking up parts, looking up manuals. The only thing I can do is go to Parts Town, honestly. That's where I look up like ice machine parts and stuff like that. Any input, guys? I'm trying to manage the whole mic situation.
I see you clicking off the mute on and off and on and off.
Yeah, I don't want to overstep everybody and just get the whole echo thing. I think what happened, from my aspect, is like it was like another app, and I see what they're trying to do, but like most of the supply houses I deal with, like in my area, when I'm like, hey, Blue Line's supposed to have the delivery system, stuff like that, and I ask them, they're like, no clue what you're talking about. So
no, we ain't got it here either.
So it's like, in a pinch, like I said, I used it that one time for that Linux system. Generally, I'm just bad overall with like calling tech support. It's very useful to have regardless. I'm sure it could be great, but we'll see how it goes with the transition to AI, I guess. Jason, was it you that you wanted like a 1964 manual or something and they found it, or was that somebody else?
No, they found it was just a document. It was it was cool. It was cool. It wasn't like the most helpful, but the fact that you found something for a 1952 boiler, I mean, come on, man, that's pretty impressive. I mean, that kind of stuff is hard to get your hands on, and I was actually pleasantly surprised at that. I mean, granted, it didn't help me a ton, but I still was appreciative of the fact that, they did their homework.
On those, can you download a PDF or something like that when you get a manual from Blue One?
You can, yes. They have a lot of manuals, honestly, just in their database. You can you model, serial, whatever. There you go.
I basically just don't like their name. Blue is not one of my colors, so that shit just sailed for me.
All right, Jason. I appreciate you for coming on. I'm gonna have to bump you because Gil's waiting now.
Take care, man.
You the man, Jay. Boogie.
Now we have another person calling in. Okay, so we have another caller. So let me bring on Gil Cavey. What's up, man?
What's up, fellas? How are you?
Yo, what's up, big dog?
What's
Welcome
up?
to the show.
Everybody? Yeah. Hey,
Well-
and just to before just so you guys know, I am very hard on Blue On because they do make a lot of mistakes. And if I put my name behind somebody, there is some things that I think they need to get better on. In all fairness, so I know people see me rep them, but I'm also a realist too. You know what I mean? So this kind
Yeah,
of
and that's
stuff is
why
good.
I wanted you to come on here, and I told the guys, I was like, I know he's sponsored, but he'll talk, real talk.
Yeah.
So
I've already found stuff wrong with the AI stuff, and I've told them like, hey, you got to fix this because my team uses Blue On. So I think Blue On is good for the industry because there's too many guys getting pushed out that don't know what they're doing. When it comes to their tech support, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of tech support guys from Blue On that lost their job because people just not doing the whole thing. As far as getting the parts and stuff like that, and it's pretty neat if you use it. But I get it. Most techs, it's not their choice where they can get stuff from, so it's not up to them. As far as the tech support, I know it can be a pain. My guys have told me it's like, hey, once I got to the right guy, especially for you guys not doing residential, you might call in and it goes to a guy who that's not his forte. And it's like, hey, give me a second. Let me get you to the right guy. And once you get there, you're good. But it's like, we got to speed up getting there. You know what I mean?
Well, are these guys taking the calls? Are they actually out working themselves?
Not anymore, but they're all techs, and I've met a bunch of them, and they're smart dudes. Like no bullshit. They know what they're doing. One guy's local to me. I hang out with him sometime. He's not a resi guy, but he's an industrial chiller guy, and he knows his shit.
So they have a wide range of people then, right? Because that's what I've heard. Because I know I brought up the whole refrigeration side of things, and they're like, yeah, you can still call them because they should know. Like you said, that guy did chillers. That they should know. Freezers, coolers, ice machines, if you need help walking through something.
And they're all over the country. So they all those tech support guys, they don't work, like some of them actually work at California and Blue On, but most of them are like what we're doing right now. They work from home, they have a database, and that's where they work from. So I meet with them a couple of times a month with my rep and Mr. Peter, the CEO. And he's like, don't bullshit me. I mean, you hear him on the podcast. He's like, don't fuck around. Tell me,
a real one.
Yeah, he's like, tell me the truth, and that's what I tell them, and I give it to them that they're like, okay, well, it's okay, let's keep going back. Like most people, when they drop a new app and spend all this money, it's like, all right, well, give it a year and then we'll worry about it then. Let's just make our money. But they're constantly going back to it, and it's not the end all be all. It definitely needs work, but I think the idea of it is good for the industry.
Any questions for Gil on Blue On?
What did you find wrong with the AI?
So to be honest, it was like, so a lot of it's really good. Be honest, it's surprisingly better than I thought because I had access to it before they launched it and I was testing it, like trying to do stuff, but something stupid. One of my newer guys went to ask it, what should the LP pressure be, incoming and outgoing, or however he asked it, for a gas furnace. And it would go thinking, back to start. Thinking, back to start. And I'm like, well, that's kind of a fucking easy one. Like, that shouldn't be one that it has to think about. But like Mr. Peter said, this was created by like an accident. Some computer guy working in a dark room saying, hey, I can make this. So I know it's got to get better, but I think for residential right now, I think it's pretty cool. And the whole Spanish to English conversion is pretty cool. But it's still a work in progress. I think I tell a lot of people just keep going back to it. I'm not a guy that calls tech support all the time either, but don't base it off one time. Just keep going back and give it a little bit. Cause like I said, my techs use it and most of them are like, they have issues too, but it works for them more than it doesn't.
I can give it another try.
The tech support, you need points for that or something?
So the AI, you don't. Anybody can use that.
Okay.
But as far as calling the tech support, it was free for the longest time. So it's supposed to be when you buy parts. And as far as what you guys were saying about the manuals, they have a bunch of them in their system. But if you can't find what you need, that's when you call tech support. And trust me, if there's anything out there, they'll get it for you. There's a guy that's all he does. And if there's something to find, he'll find it. I found out that a lot of times when you're trying to find something, it's how you search it. Like in a model number, put in less information and more will pop up.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you put in the whole number, a lot of times it throws the system off or something. Like the whole TAM9 thing. If somebody's looking for a TAM9, like just put in TAM, like maybe 1 or 2 digits and see
Yeah,
what
you
pops
gotta
up.
like you gotta kind of like start it off and let it finish it, because
Yeah.
I've done that too with the commercial RTUs. You know, it's a long ass number, and then like I'm like, it's not in here, and then I take off half of it or whatever, and then I add it slowly, and it'll pop up.
Yeah, but it's like I said, it's still a work in progress. You know what I mean? I'm definitely a realist about it. But
So this AI thing is like a AI tech support essentially.
yeah, so obviously it's like anything else. The way like it's funny when AI got explained to me, because you think AI, it's like robots are going to take over the world, they're going to kill us all, and
They
it's
are.
that's actually not what it is. Like when he explained it on the podcast about, it's just taking all of the tech support phone calls they've ever had and putting them into script, and then it creates a path to be able to get to it. So it's pretty wild, but so far, yeah, it's been good. Obviously, the more information you give it, the better it's going to be back. So like I said, if you walk up and you're like, furnace is broke, it's not going to be able to help. But if you know what you're doing and you're descriptive and you're, hey, this is my gas pressure, this isn't happening, igniters lighting, like whatever, the more information you give, the better it's going to be back to spit it. And I went through a whole test thing, like a frozen coil, and for residential, and I went and I kept spitting stuff at it, and it literally got me, where I should be. I gave it refrigeration pressures, and it's like, oh, you should check this. And I was like, oh, how about that shit? It's because I try to find something wrong. Granted, I'm getting paid. Everybody knows that, but I still won't put my name behind something that I won't put my name behind something if I don't think that it does any kind of good. So
It's
we'll see.
evolving. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
And especially 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? Even if it takes you a little bit. Like how many times you've been out late at night, or it's past 5 o'clock where you are, and it's like, shit, I can't call tech support. You can still call Blue On. It can be Christmas Day. You're running a service call. Okay, maybe
they're never closed.
No. Maybe it takes you 30 minutes.
AI isn't ever closed.
Yeah, exactly. That's always there. But yeah, that's been one of their perks. I mean, you go out and it's 11:30 at night, Mrs. Smith's house, and you're like, shit, and it's not a guy that knows the kind of knowledge that we have. He gets stuck. His boss ain't answering the phone, So that's what I'm saying. I think it has more ups than downs in my mind.
Solid.
So you get to test it. You kind of mess with them and make sure that they're on their on their toes.
Yeah. And I send them, I have a constant feedback loop, like, hey, I did this and it didn't work, take a look at it. And I get them they'll come down here sometimes and like, take me out and, all that kind of good stuff, which is fun. And they'll say, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, hey, like I found a bunch of these issues, and they will go in and fix them, but then I'll find more. But that's the whole process of.
How many people like you do they have doing that? Like that's out in the field and stuff. Do they have like just a team of people like there in California, or are they kind of spread out all over the country and stuff like that?
So they have I'm actually supposed to go to the office in California. So they probably have a good, like, I want to say, and I might be wrong, I want to say like 50, 60 people in California that are in that office every day. And then they have people all over the country. So there's different, they're in different time zones, so you're going to have a guy in your time zone when you call. So it's like I said, one of the guys, Mike, he's been on the podcast. He lives like not that far from me. So yes, you can call in for walk-in freezers. I do know like residential, commercial, air conditioning, heating is kind of the bread and butter, but they have guys that can do all that. But just let me say this, make sure it might take them a second to get you to the right person. Just please know that I don't want you going into.
That was my experience that I had. It was like, oh, can't help you. And I was like, well, what, you know what I mean? Like that. So it was like really just right off the jump. I was like, well, this is shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then to be honest, it's another app, and you always just forget about it when it's there because you're instantly like muscle memory is to go right back to the manufacturer's tech support, and just kind of getting it, they've really pushed it out there. Everybody knows the name Blue On for the most part. That's in the industry, right? When you talk to somebody. So,
Well, do you know if they're coming out with a replacement for the R410 like they did for the R22?
No, Mr. Peters said he's staying so far away from refrigerant, he's not touching it. So obviously, like you said, that is what got him in the game. But I think that was also a nightmare. All the licensing and patents and stuff you had to get. Because I asked him, I said, "Are you going to stay in that game?" And he was like, "Hell no." He was like, "It's just there's so many different manufacturers and trying to fight for your little piece of the pie." I think he said he's not going to mess with it anymore. So the tech support and that whole involvement, I think they're going to stay in that route. I was kind of surprised, to be honest, but I guess it makes sense what he said, though.
Yeah, I forgot about that whole refrigerant thing that they were doing, and then it's evolved. So now they're more of a helping the tech out on other aspects. Do they still do like the parts delivery and all that?
Yeah, and to be honest, we use that. It's actually really, really slick, to be honest. I'm going to have the manager of my local Johnston, so I talked them into signing up for Blue On. And so obviously it's free for you to use, but the supply house has to pay. But he said it's awesome when you're like, hey, I need this blower motor, and you don't want the exact part. When you go through Blue On does all the heavy lifting and says, hey, in your warehouse, you have... They're asking for this motor. You have these two that'll work for this part. Gives them their own part number. It makes it easy for them. But some stuff, like when I buy like refrigerant or things that I know I'm going to buy, I buy directly through them. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's fair. We'll get what we have to through Blue On, but the stuff that I would normally just go through you, I'm not going to make you pay a surcharge on it. But it is neat. We've had parts delivered, and like I said, I tested all that stuff. Guys just show up like they're delivering a sub. I'm like, cool, thanks, man. The girl in our office who orders parts uses it, and like it has a little spinny wheel every time you use it. She's up to like $1,300. She's won just for doing the job. Yeah. So here,
dude, I know they ain't going to deliver around here. We ain't even got 5G here.
Yeah, it'd be worth trying because it
depends on the distributor, because like for us it's in scope. So like like it'll tell you like who is around you that they use. So like for us it's Insco, and it would be through Insco.
Yeah, like see, I don't know if you guys can see this. I only have like 3,000 points. So I only have like $30, but I had like over $1,000 where I could just cash out. The girl in my office had enough points that it was worth like $1,000 cash value. And then you literally, if I hit redeem, start redeeming, you go down and it's all these different Lowe's, Bass Pro.
Oh yeah.
So you techs out there can get paid for shit that you didn't even pay for. You know what I mean? Like it's your boss's money buying the parts, not yours. And then you can make money just because you got the part, and your boss is still paying for it the same way. So that's what I tell people. It's a win-win.
Yeah, they don't charge anything extra for that kind of stuff.
It all gets rolled in, don't it?
Yeah, no, they don't charge anything extra for this. And the companies are free if you use it. Like we have the whole business thing, because obviously I would pay for it if I had to, but they give it to me. So I can watch all my techs and see exactly what they buy, where they're getting it from. And it's neat. Even the guys that do truck stock, they'll go through and they can scan stuff. They'll add it to their cart. And at the end of the day, they check out, do it as truck stock, and it's waiting at my shop for them the next morning.
Yeah, that's where it's kind of helpful. That's a cool thing that I remembered that they do, like the whole, like if you can use it to get parts, like they do all the, like you said, I didn't even know that they did cross-referencing for other parts. And then because that's always a hassle too, like depending on who you get at your supply house, they might not be as helpful. We've all been there. And they don't know what parts, and I have to tell them like, I'm looking Gary.
Yeah, you always got that guy at supply house. He's like, yeah, I was in the trade, but I decided to work at my local Johnstone because I was so smart that I couldn't be out there anymore. So I'd rather sell you the parts. And then you ask him a technical question. He's like, I don't know. I said, deer in the headlights. Look,
I haven't been doing this in years, man. So
I never worked on them new carriers, but I worked on the old stuff though.
Facts, bro.
But yeah, it's I think tech support's a good thing, man. Because I mean, anybody that listens to this, man, like stop with your whole like, I'm too manly to call. Like we all got somewhere by learning stuff. I used to call it. I don't care. I used to call carrier tech support when I was a carrier guy all the time, and I'd learn stuff. And then next time I saw that problem, I knew exactly what to do. Then I became the go-to guy. Hey, Gil, I got this carrier problem. Then they started calling me. Like, that's how you learn. Who gives a shit? As long as you take care of the customer and the problem gets solved, who cares if you call tech support? Like, stop with this whole ego. Just do a good job.
I used to be like that.
Door then, bud.
Man, I used to be like that. I didn't want to call anybody, but now I call. I'm like, I don't know what the hell that is. I need a part or whatever. I'm gonna call.
Just call and don't tell anybody. Nobody's gonna know.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Hey, did you see Kraus, my Maryland flag tattoo?
Bro, I was peeping it, son. I seen it. I'm like, I was gonna say, yo, shoot me a text to that.
Yeah, almost on the sleeve, bro. Got the Oriole bird.
Yo,
I gotta get moving, so we're going.
I wanted a whole like Maryland back piece, the black-eyed Susan, the crab cakes, the Old Bay, all that goodies.
I'm slowly now that I can finally get tattoos and not like have my kids hungry. We're gonna keep going. Sorry, didn't mean to.
Now you're real quick to parlay off of that is the same thing. I ain't got a tattoo since my daughter was born, and she's 12. So it's like it was ready to go, and now it's like, oh, I guess they do need some food, and you need to pay rent, and shit's expensive.
One of my best friends is an award-winning tattoo artist, and he was always like, "Dude, when are you gonna come see me?" I'm like, "I don't know.
You give it to me for free."
And then I finally made an appointment, and I knew if I made one, I would not go. And then that's this whole rabbit hole to now I'm going to be like face tattoos and shit. So
I did this.
Hey, so you're bringing up tattoos, and I was actually going to wait for the next episode to do that, but this whole little the picture let me try and present real quick. Have any of y'all had somebody else tattoo your logo or let me see.
Oh yeah, you got the skull joint. Somebody did the skull one, right?
Let's see if I can share this. Yeah.
I'm about to put my logo on me.
Bam.
Hey, that's never had
that's
that.
pretty cool, yo.
Some dude on Instagram asked me, he's like, "Hey man, I really like your artwork and this and that. Like, can I use it for a tattoo?" I'm like, "Dude, sure. Just make sure to tag me when you do it."
I'm gonna get a big old knight on my ass cheek, and then
So somebody's out there with a reliable skull logo.
Is it just one person?
Yeah,
or you got multiple.
He just got that one.
Oh, it's just one guy. Huh?
I'm gonna add my logo to my arm. I told my wife I was gonna get HVAC Uncensored on my penis, but HVAC is all they got.
It's not 58, bro.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
I went and put the little logo on the back there.
There we
go.
Oh.
The little flame logo. Nothing too big, nothing like this guy, but he went all out with the big skull.
That is pretty cool though. That would make a good tattoo.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's awesome. Somebody did that, dude. Not a lot of people can say that. That's the only one I know is me when I put it on myself.
I'll get a Gil, just
come on.
Yeah, so anybody listening to the audio version when I put this up on Instagram, somebody had asked about my logo. They went ahead and put the tattoo on their arm, and they sent me the picture. I thought that was really cool.
You should have got paid for that comp for your design for it. Because
the only thing close to that that's happened to me, I've had somebody want to buy some of my thermostats with my logo on them.
That's just weird, bro.
I'm like, why?
But was that a homeowner or what?
No, I think he was telling me that he collects thermostats.
All right.
But I didn't send him one.
Yeah, you did.
No,
I'll send one for you. I'll just write in Sharpie HVAC guy and just send that shit. Like, yeah, here you go.
Like, no, of course I'll sell them to you. $350
all day long. Right? Yeah. Private label shit is not cheap.
That's funny. So, is this your guys' first episode?
Second.
If you were a real knight, you know this by now.
I knew you guys started. I'm sorry. I knew. But touche on the show, man.
He's been out of the game for a while.
Yeah, I
got
took
off
a little break
Instagram?
on social media, man. I needed it.
I don't blame you.
Well, Gil, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't know who you were. And they were talking about you, and I kind of Googled HVAC Uncensored, and I saw that video where you were talking about the AI. So I went back to Blue One and I re-downloaded the app just so
Hey.
I could see it.
Hey, well, there we go. See, the marketing works. See, Blue On, send that check, damn it.
Yeah, straight up, bro. Like, if you you have a referral code for that shit or no?
For Blue On, nah, it's literally
They pay you
just-
handsomely enough.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie.
mean,
I do have a new sponsor that I literally just well, two that I've been working on. One just signed today, so I finally signed back with House Call Pro. I had to hash out some details.
Right on.
But to be honest, I've been one of the biggest shit talkers about them. When I first came to Beltway, I was like, drop this garbage. It's never gonna work. And they've proved me wrong. They literally have proved me wrong. They've gotten so much better. And for what you pay, like you can't beat what you get. If you're a $10-15 million company, yeah, you'll maybe outgrow it, but most people aren't that. And so we worked out the details, and everything got signed today.
Look at you. Hey, let's talk numbers real quick. Come on.
Hey,
Wasn't Blue On doing something like that too?
No
invoicing or anything?
CRM, they signed up with like Sarah or something.
Oh yeah, so they did something with Sarah, and to be honest, when that came to me, I guess I'll be careful what I say, but Blue On's not the one that first approached me. The other side did, and when it got explained like they were like merging, like they were going to be the same company. I'm like, whoa, well, what the hell the fuck is this going to work? And that's not what was happening. So Blue On's like integration stuff is built in to Sarah, and Sarah's very good. So is Service Titan, but it's expensive as shit.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like for what we pay for, 25, we have 25 techs total, 25 people. I could probably get 4 techs on these other softwares.
It's crazy.
I mean, that's the price difference. So let's just, as far as what you get. And I've had some other ones reach out to me, like the one that I did for a little bit. I don't even remember, Field Pulse. They were cool, but I don't use them. And I was like, guys, I can't do this anymore, man, because I have to be honest. And I always said, hey, the software is really good. I don't use them, but and I was like, this isn't going to work. But I use House Call Pro, so it's a little different to be able to talk about them. So we'll see. And the other one I told you about, Adrian, we were talking, Adrian Steele. So we haven't finalized anything, but that one's.
That's what I got my truck outfitted with.
They did our new trucks, and that's how it happened. The guy was like, it was funny. He was like, "You're Gil from HVAC Uncensored." I'm like, "That's me." And he was like, "Oh shit." He was like, "Maybe we could work something out." I'm like, "Yeah, what are you trying to do, bro?" He was like, he was like, "Well, what if I redid one of your vans for free?" I'm like, "Sounding good. Yeah, like, this sounds awesome." Yeah. He's like, "I'll work out a monthly thing where I could pay you every month." I'm like, "I'm down. What's up? Let's go."
I get people that ask, like, occasionally. It's not like I'm freaking some guy, but they'll always ask, well, what bins do you have? Because you got the blue bins and all that stuff, so it kind of pops a little bit. And they're like, I kept saying Addison Steel for some reason, but
I was going to call you out on that.
What's that?
I was going to call you out on that. I heard that in your video.
Like, let it be. We're going to let it ride. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But Adrian, you get linked up with him. It's the name for name. We're good to go. I mean,
we were talking about what he said. I was like, damn, this should be your sponsor. But hey, like I tell people, man, these companies will pay. And what you guys, making videos, doing podcasts, it's valuable as many people as you reach and you talk to. So when these companies do talk to you, don't be afraid to ask them for money because they'll pay.
Yeah,
I think we all know that. Kurt's been through it, and all of us.
Yeah,
we try to talk to each other about it too.
Yeah, I've been through a couple of them, and the product sponsorship doesn't always work out. It's not worth it.
No, I've in 5 years I've turned down more money than I've taken. It has to be something. If I wouldn't say something about them for free, I won't say it paid. And not to say that I never have. But I learned my lesson in the beginning when it's just like, I'm trying to make money to make this worth it, And then you're like, it's like, hold on. We don't allow it. Yeah. So now it's just I get companies all the time, and I'm just like, they're like, hey, we'll pay you $500 for a video if you say this part's really good. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
Debatable.
I won't say the name of a tool manufacturer, but they reached
Say
out.
Is it a local one to you?
More. They tried to send me some stuff, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. I was like, because I could do another manufacturer because Yellow Jacket doesn't like, what is it called? They don't care if I like deal with other people because I told them
type deal.
Yeah, I was like, hey, if you want me to just do you and not somebody else, it's this much. If you want to pay this much, then I'll do somebody else. They're like, we're okay with this much. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get somebody else, which I'm not. I just said that hopefully that they would go up, but
yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah, Yellow Jacket's more sentimental, dude. When I think of Yellow Jacket, I think of my dad.
100%, dude.
Them old gauges getting in the trade, and that's really why and they're cool people. So it is what it is. It makes it fun, but
I can dig you when you talk about you're not taking sponsorships that you wouldn't endorse on your own.
Yeah, and that's what makes them fun.
I get offers nearly every day or every other day for some kind of Chinese tool or something like that they want me to put into a video, and I'm like, come on.
Well, you and Kraus had those. What was that brand? Vivor or something?
Yeah.
The recovery drum.
What I do.
Those were the Amazon.
Yeah, an Amazon company.
When they send me that shit, I look at what the price is gonna be, and if it's if it's cheap, I ain't getting it. But if it's a few $100, I'm like, yeah, I'll take that shit. And they sent me another one, and I didn't even ask for it. I ain't gonna lie, I sold the other one. That blue one I used the video on. You know what I mean? I had to whatever.
Well, Kurt's didn't even work, right? The one you got?
You talking about the vacuum pump?
Yeah.
No, it didn't work. No. I figured I was going to try it. I was going to try it and see if it worked. Give it a test. I mean, why not? But no, it didn't work.
That joint for $250, bro.
I had that email sitting in mine, and then I saw you guys go through what you guys went through, and I'm like, nah, I'll pass.
Yeah. My wife's pretty good, so my wife does my email that comes in, and if it looks like bullshit, she don't even let me get through to me. So she's my buffer. She better, because she's always wanting the podcast money.
Yeah, right.
Hey, can I buy this? No.
Not today, honey.
Yeah.
Take that sponsorship up.
Mike wants to be sponsored by Field Piece in Milwaukee.
Sounds about right.
That's two of the hardest ones to get to.
I tried to hit up Milwaukee about the time that I swapped from Makita to Milwaukee. I tried to hit them up, and they responded that they don't sponsor people in the U.S., which I know is a lie.
Bro.
Yeah, there's a ton of people that show their stuff. Like, you can tell that they're like promotional stuff. Mr. Red over there.
Yeah, that's why you ain't got no tattoos, bro. That's why there's no tattoo money.
Bro, this is all freaking this is all self-checkout at the Home Depot.
Hey, but Curtis, did Field Piece ever get back to you, or did that fall out too?
Well, I had a couple videos where I talked bad about their products, especially their leak detectors. And
that's right.
But they did reach out to me this year about product sponsorship and asked me if I was interested in anything, but that never worked out. No.
Yeah, because they have their own marketing team now or something, because I had talked to them recently. And but I haven't heard back either, so we'll see.
But yeah, if Field Piece wants to work with me, they're gonna have to pay me.
They don't like to. They're very controlling and all that. So I've worked with them a few times.
It's like this. I buy my own tools, and it gives me the freedom to say whatever the hell I want to about them.
Get him, son. Give him hell, boy. Oh, what's he got
there?
Is that a bullet?
This is the new DC bullet, yeah.
That's so gangster looking now.
Yeah, but one thing about Yellow Jacket is they're good because I have things with them, and I'll be like, dude, this thing, it works great, but it looks fucking stupid. I'm like, why do you make it look so dumb?
It's from the 90s still.
They need some new designers over there, man.
Yeah, and
that's the only reason why I don't really look at them either, because I'm like,
yeah, and their products are good, and what I give them is, they're not the fanciest, like, you know, they don't have the colored screen like Field Piece does. And I say that, I'm honest about it, but their stuff's reliable. Like I'm going to make another series, like beating the shit out of these things. And then keep trying to test them. Like those, I got them hanging up back there, the P51 870s. I beat the piss out of them. I threw them off remember that crowd? I threw them off a roof. I left them outside in the snow, all kinds of stuff. And they kept turning
P51
on.
870. What's that?
Here, hold on, I'll show you.
You look, nah, Jason, you don't want that. They're from Taos, Maryland, and they used to be in Hampstead, Maryland. You don't want to deal with DeWalt. Trust me, that's where I'm from.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. You threw these things off a roof?
Oh yeah. I threw them off. Granted, they landed in the grass, but I still threw them off the roof.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah,
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. And these aren't the compared to some of the other ones. Would these be my? You know, I think they're top of the list. No, I'm not gonna lie, but
that's the one I got.
Yeah, they're good for what they do, and they've been reliable. My thing was, I don't care about the bells and whistles. When I turn it on and I go to do said job, I want it to work. You know,
Straight up.
My original bullet that I bought with my own money back when I was still in the field, I changed the oil all the time, took care of it. That pump still runs, you know, 15
like
years
a
later.
diesel engine too.
Yeah. I've got like a 15-year-old JB that is still my backup. I use it at the shop to pull vacuums on recovery drums.
Yeah, I was messing with a field piece guy though. He was like, I can change the oil while it's running. I'm like, how many times you had to do that? He's like, well, never.
10
like,
times.
He did.
Oh my God, you're only changing half the oil, so the contaminated oil's still in there. You got to do it like 5 times for it to.
Yeah, that's a bullshit feature. That's why I tell people, like, if that's why you're buying a pump, then you're an idiot.
I only have it because they send it to me.
Then you use the hell out of it. Then it's a good pump. Like we buy everything. Like we have guys with Field Piece. We have some of the shit. What is it? Orange and black. I'm having a brain. Navac stuff.
I started buying a lot of
boy Andrew.
I started buying a lot of Navac stuff, and I think Ben's working with them now too. Oh,
I got their flaring tool. That thing is awesome.
And Francisco too is working with them.
Yeah, I was talking to Greaves last year, but until I renegotiated my stuff with Yellow Jacket, I couldn't really do anything. So it may be too late, but it's all good. To be honest, with House Call Pro and another one, I'm probably maxed out because normally 5 is like the most that I want because I don't want the whole hour of show being a fucking sponsor read. You know what I mean?
It's the first 15 minutes anyways. What's another 10?
Exactly. That's why I start late, you know? Then it's only like a 10-minute show.
It's all good.
Yeah. I'm glad to see you're actually podcasting, Kraus. You know what I mean? You went from a misfit to a knight.
Yeah, man.
I saw you in the original thing. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, Kraus. Like, yeah, Kraus can't do it. He told us to go fuck ourselves. So.
Definitely not what happened.
I know. I'm just kidding.
You got to go back and watch the last episode, though. And then you'll oh, shit.
You all
check
right?
that last episode. It was a little tribute, I guess.
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad. I love seeing these new shows pop up, man. It's cool. I love seeing people do good and do stuff like this. I think it's awesome. I've been this last year. I've wanted to do so many things, man, and just staying consistent with the podcast has been hard enough between my mom's cancer and then trying to move. But once my move is done, I'm going full Joe Rogan on the studio, and then it's going to go all out. But we'll see. Sometimes just maintaining is just enough.
I'm trying to clean up a space at my house so I don't have to come to the shop to do a podcast.
There you go.
Yeah,
we're still in the early stages here. We're just getting this thing together, you know.
Well, go for you guys, man. It's awesome.
Hey, Gil, thanks for the support, bro. You're such a freaking sweet guy.
No, I'm sorry.
Nah, dude, I appreciate you. I'll have to shoot you a text. I ain't talked to you in a few months anyway.
Yeah, I get it, bro. Life happens. It's funny though. And this isn't even my son. Him playing baseball in college, he's fucking up. So I'm gonna whip his ass. That's a whole other story. But yeah, he's talking about HVAC, and he's like, Dad, I looked up 3 videos, and he found you, Kraus, He found you, Kurt, and then he found God, why is my brain not working? Quality HVACR. Like, why can I not think of his name? Zach. We found Zach.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, well, I know 2 or 3 of those guys, and I sent him pictures that one of me and you took together, and one of me and Zach, and I was like, he was, you know these guys? I was like, bro, I told you I'm kind of important. I know.
I mean, I'm kind of a guy.
Oh my God, I'm looking forward to Chicago, man. It's gonna be my first trip to AHR.
Let's see, where's that?
It's a good time, man. I can't wait to meet everybody in person. They're fun. I love them. So finally getting able to meet Adrian. That's where I finally met, Kraus at one of them, and they're a good time. And then the nightlife is always fun going out, because normally it's, if you're any kind of influencer, it's like free booze at these parties. You get in for free, so it's like you walk around like you're a superstar.
The red carpet at the awards show and everything.
Oh God, it's not going to show. Is it? Oh, there he is. Look.
There you go. Yeah.
My man over here bugging and shit. Like, I got to take a picture with this long-haired hippie fuck.
That's funny. Are you going, Kraus, this year?
Yeah, man, I'll be there.
Nice.
Me and the old wife ski again. So,
yeah.
Whose idea was it to hold it in Chicago in the dead of winter?
Yeah, so we get Atlanta, we get Orlando, Las Vegas, and then Chicago.
Oh my God, they might have some lake effect snow and snow drifts that are 10 feet high.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pack a parka.
Yeah, well, that's my daughter, son, one, my wife. The family pick though, guys. No big deal.
Sorry though, I don't know if I passed the threshold of my time limit. I wasn't trying to.
Yeah, go.
No, that's fine.
Just get the.
Well, go ahead. Why don't you just close it on out with us?
Yeah, whatever. I'm down.
Sounds about right.
Let me show you guys the ice that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, bro, you had a bunch of things you were talking about.
Come on, the ice on that board?
I only took a front picture.
Pixar didn't happen.
I was going to say the same thing.
Oh, God.
I don't know how to zoom in on that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
The plus sign on the bottom.
Oh,
sorry, I didn't mean
I
to
was
sound
clicking on the wrong thing.
right?
But look at how close that shit was.
I mean, that's like, it just looks like some heat sink or something. I mean,
well, it definitely got wet.
Golly.
Wait, I think we had already taken some of the ice off here. But I was like, dude, are you kidding me? It worked though. It still worked. It turned on. It was running when we got there too. But that's the thing that I'm talking about. Like we have all these electronic, components, and I work in freezers, and I'm like, is it gonna last? Now on this one, the fan relay screwed up, so I had to bypass it with a mechanical one. I wired it up on the other side. And then the heater relay is messing up. It won't go into defrost. So I was like, now you need that board, because last time, I bypassed the fans and all that, but can't do anything for the heater.
I love refrigeration, and I'm glad that I got to do it, but I don't necessarily miss it. Like those 2:30 a.m. Rack call, like Costco and Walmart, when they call you 2:00 in the morning. It's not I'll see you at 8. It's like I'll see your ass in an hour, and I got to go from Maryland to Virginia. So it was awesome experience. I don't necessarily miss it though.
Yeah, I do it.
Guys, I got it made. I might be on call all the time, but my phone turns off at about 7:30. I don't go out late. I don't work on weekends unless I want to. And most of my customers know that I can be there in the morning.
Yeah,
rubbing it in, ain't you, bud?
I just don't go in the field anymore. I go home when I want to. Don't work the weekends. But I've embraced the whole. To be honest, I hated management at first. I was like, this sucks. I'd rather be a tech. Like this is bullshit. I don't want to do it. But I've embraced it. But I go out in the field a lot because the technical side is what I love. So
I had a number of employees at one time, and that was a whole nother story. But I couldn't stop going out and taking calls.
Yeah. What they say.
It's all about what you want too. Some people want this big giant company. Some people don't. It's like they want them and maybe 1 or 2 other guys or just themselves. And That's your prerogative.
There's
you know what I
there's a
mean?
lot of guys that do that. There's Kurt, there's Zach, Quality HVAC, keeps it small too. We're about 5 guys. We don't want to be. We want to expand
Great
eventually,
burgers.
but we don't want to be what
I said great burgers.
5 guys. But that's what I tell people. Everybody's definition of success is different.
Yeah.
If you want to make the most money, work 24/7, run yourself into the ground, by
Oh
all
my God.
means. By all means, I've been there. We used to work late too, and weekends, every weekend. And now it's like, we can be picky. We can, like you said, turn off the phone at a certain time. Unless it's like a dire, because you do HVAC, I do refrigeration. Unless it's that walk-in freezer that has like a ton of money and product in it, fine, I'll go. But other than that, I'll see you tomorrow,
Yeah, my original plan before I teamed up here was, since I have a master's, HVAC license, I have a master gas fitters. I was just going to start my own thing, just a one-man band. I know enough people to stay busy enough. Between that and the podcast, I'd make enough money to survive. Because I have other businesses that I'm involved in that I don't have to really do stuff with. And me doing that would just create content for the show. I was like, so it could just feed off of each other. But I found a good gig here, so I can't complain.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I used to advertise in the Yellow Pages. That was my only advertisement, and I used to advertise 24/7 emergency service. I changed that about 4 years ago, and now it says by appointment only.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this much. I do such a damn good job on my calls. There ain't no emergency calls coming in.
Yeah.
Because all 4 people are working, baby. Just
Oh,
because they don't get no heats in Florida. That's why.
yeah, right. we just need the AC to get, and we're good. Yeah, dude.
About the only time I'll go out when I normally wouldn't is if I just installed something and they call me and tell me it's not working.
Straight up.
Yeah. What's that saying they said in Florida? A no heat call is when somebody calls and you're like, hey, ma'am, turn the AC off.
Yeah.
But it's hot where you are too, isn't it, Adrian? Like
Where?
Oh, it's
like,
probably
I'm
hot.
in Texas, South
Yeah.
Texas.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, we're by the coast. We don't get any cold weather over here either.
Yeah, it was.
Nice.
I got about 2 weeks ago. I had a heating call. I'm like, fuck. Like,
Dude, the weather here's like this. You'll wake up and your nuts are stuck to your leg, and then by the afternoon,
nature's thermometer.
yeah, exactly. It's 75 degrees, and then it's like, oh, it's freezing again. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
That's kind of what we're going through. We get like 40 degrees in the morning, and then it's 80 degrees by the time we're going home.
Where you at? Where you at again, Kurt?
South Georgia.
Oh, so you're way south of me. Yeah, I'm Maryland, but that sounds familiar. What it is here, though.
it's crazy because you ain't too far from me. Like it's like it was in like high 80s today.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I don't
weird.
know where you are. Are you in Central Florida?
I'm right there in Orlando. Well, I mean, like Orlando. Just say Orlando. That's where I'm at.
That's about Central Florida then, isn't it?
Yep. Dead nuts, bro.
He's
Yeah,
making
giveaway.
high time.
I tell you, one of your videos just tripped me out where you're showing these bears running around in the middle of Florida.
Yeah, it's epic, dude. Like, it was funny because, yeah, you see so much shit here. It's cool, but then you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like a bear just running around a corner and shit. And you're like, all right, what's up, boy?
We
I
got
wish I would've
bears
left them.
around here, but you don't see them. You don't ever see them.
Well,
One bear in
yeah,
that neighborhood made the news. He was like on like one of the national news thing. It might have been like Good Morning America or something. They call him Tripod. He's just got 3 legs, and he popped into somebody's lanai, the screened in porch, popped open their mini fridge and was just pounding seltzers, bro. It was like, and like he came back like every other night. It was freaking hilarious.
that's funny.
That's what we do. I mean, it was keep the house at 75. Yeah. But people just they just need their AC. It's like when I lived up in Maryland, dude, we would always preach the fact like heating is a necessity and air conditioning is a luxury. And it would be like, Nobody ever though was calling for no heat calls. They was only calling about the AC. It's like, man, but your furnace, it needs to be replaced. There's something wrong with it. Nah, I just want the air working.
I'll put some sweatshirts on, a couple blankets, man. We're good. Them kids can freeze. They'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, we never turn the heater on down here either.
No. Air conditioning, you get to my wife's pregnant, and you get there. I'm like, what'd you impregnate her last night? I'm
Yeah.
like, you could have just said it didn't work, man. Like, why do you gotta lie about your wife being pregnant?
Yeah.
Oh, it's always somebody's got asthma or they're taking care of an elderly patient or something like that. There's always something.
But then you offer them a UV light. They're like, oh yeah, I don't need that shit. But what? Your filter looks like somebody's shit in it, but somebody's got asthma in the house, smoking a cigarette.
You want to say hi? Well, my boo just look. She doubled me up on the water, y'all. Thanks, girl. Love you.
You're not using your Stack Tech cup.
Bro, the fucking. You want to see it?
I was gonna say when you were talking about throwing your gauges off the roof, he was gonna throw that Stack Tech system off a roof.
I got up on the fucking roof, bro, and I was like, yeah, fuck that. The damn the fucking rubber
Go
joint.
ahead.
You broke it already?
Bottom, dude. I was
Oh
like,
man.
How
Well, then
often are you at a place where you can put your drink on your
all the
I'm not
time,
gonna
do
Kurt,
box.
okay? I make sure that I take that just specifically on a maintenance, changing the capacitor. I'm taking that whole fucking box system, put it right next to the condenser.
45 minute setup, 10-minute part change.
Yeah, straight up. I'm like, I'm taking the whole thing with me.
But that's funny. That's how we got in contact with Stack Tech, was just kind of like doing those videos and
Yeah.
voicing our opinions on them.
Bro,
I still want to see you throw something off the roof though.
bro, like,
That's what we were promised.
okay, you know, we were
Or try to run over it with a truck or something. I want to see something dramatic.
That was fucking cool. I hit it with the van, bro.
Yeah, you just knocked it over.
I'm not ruining my van.
I'm trying to find something to do with my drone, man. I bought a new drone, and I'm trying to find something. to do
Hey,
with it.
throw it off the fucking roof. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll just fly it over.
Hey, Zach did some good footage with his. He had to have had a drone where he's driving down the road and the footage is following his truck.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Zach. I remember that. Yeah.
Now, Zach, it looks like he's taking classes in videography or something because he really puts together some good videos.
His
Hell
videos
yeah.
are good.
Take a little snippets of it.
I think he has a background in that, to be honest. I think I remember talking to him about that, and I think he has a background in that. Because if you look like, because I've taken a class to learn stuff, I don't use it very often, but I've taken a class, and you look at his videos, like the composition, like he knows, like it's not random the way he does stuff. So Zach,
The different
knows what he-
angles and
Yeah,
the
he knows what
setups
he's
and
doing.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does good work. I watch his videos mainly just to see that.
So,
How
I
hard
actually have a
is that,
course.
Jake?
What's that?
How hard is that, Jake? Because you've been doing that too now.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, it fucking gets annoying sometimes, and you're just like, you know what? Like, I don't know. Like, here's my thing with his stuff. Like, I try to like make it to where like I'm doing something substantial for the video. Like, some of his stuff isn't very like. It's just very. It is very
What the fuck?
cinematic. It is very okay. You're freaking me out. It's like very cinematic, but like I don't know. It's not too bad because I have a GoPro now on my phone, so it's pretty easy to manipulate it around. And I keep the GoPro on a I got the hook thing. Snap that shit onto something, let it record, and then I'll try to overlay it. It's
telling
fun.
you the best little camera. I'm actually going to be giving a 2 away, but is
What in the world?
The little DJI Pocket 3, that little new
yeah.
one. That is a badass little camera.
I want to get that one.
Yeah, so I have one coming.
How you
but
do,
I
when you doing the giveaway?
the Pocket 2. I don't know, man. I'll
You can just send it to me.
if you use it, I'll send it to you. I mean, because I have the second one, and I don't. So
I'll pay you for it.
you know, what I like about the third one is the screen is bigger and like it's wireless from your phone. The second one, like you can plug your phone into the side, which to me was another step. So I didn't use it as much, but it's an awesome little camera. You can watch the footage after the fact. I mean, and that thing does like 4K 60, 4K 120. Like you can do slow motion. and you can track yourself. Like you can sit it over there, draw yourself on the screen, and walk around. And it's like somebody's filming you. It's pretty neat.
That is pretty cool.
It's
Have
just
y'all
not
tried
waterproof.
uploading? Have y'all tried uploading videos in 4K?
That's the only way I do it.
Yeah,
Really?
that's how I do mine.
Yeah, my all my podcasts are in 4K.
I've been doing mine in 1080p.
So, Kurt, when you go to your
It just
settings,
takes a lot longer.
Yeah, go to your settings. Make sure you put upload in full quality. When
And
you're
then filmed in 4K.
Yeah, just film
Yeah.
in 4K, and it like Adrian said, it takes a hot minute. Like I usually do it at night, and I'm falling asleep, and then it's done in the morning.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Another trick I've learned, you can shoot in 1080, but you have to put it into an editing software. So you take a 1080 clip and you put it in a 4K timeline and then export it, and it's called UpResin. And it makes it look a little bit better. But really, it's easier just to shoot in 4K and just do that.
So, Kurt, just make sure since you use the GoPro, I mean, the 4K shit will eat the hell out. You got, I want to say 90 minutes, maybe max. If that on a no, I lied. Sorry, 38 minutes, 4K, 60 frames, I think. So just have batteries on deck. Dude, is it snowing in Maryland?
This is part of the new Mac. So any Mac has it. And I saw the buttons and I was like, oh, what does this do? And then I saw the one that was like laser beam shooting out of my head and shit. So I was like, I pressing buttons. Let's see. Oh, but to be funny, I still might make this video, even though I'm telling you, like, so my wife bought me Crocs with like the little, like the fur in them. And I was like, I'm not wearing these motherfuckers. Like, what are we talking about?
They're amazing.
They are. And so I went, I wore them around the house. So I'm like, all right, so I'm only going to wear these around the house. Nobody's going to see me in them.
The bitches are about waterproof too.
Yeah, but then my wife was like, hey, could you go pick a prescription? And I was like, yeah, sure. Walked in Walgreens, looked down, and was like, oh no, I'm in public. I was like, it's too late now. And I was going to make a video and be like, it just kind of happened. Like, I can feel my pronouns coming, but it's not going to stay. I promise. It was just one time. I thought it would be funny for everybody that does it, but I'm like, you got to be careful because, you know.
Nah, screw it, dude. Just be you. I got the Mossy Oak ones that have the liner. My wife got them for me. They got like a damn Dr. Scholl's type insole in them, dude. They
are nice around the house. I ain't gonna lie. I rock them around the house.
I've never bought a set of Crocs.
Me,
I didn't before those. My wife got them for me. My son and stuff would wear them, and then my daughter's got little like
my daughter rocks the shit
buttons and stuff on them. I'm like, I'm not going that far. Like,
I might go out and buy some just for Chicago.
Hey. Bro, it makes too much sense.
Yeah.
Makes all the sense. Chicago, Crocs.
I thought this was going to be calling in on the phone, and I was going to call in and be like, is this the Crocs fan lovers group? Oh, sorry, wrong phone. Sorry, you know what I mean?
Like a real, like, anonymous phone call. Crank yankers.
I didn't mean to do that one. I didn't mean to do that one. I'm trying to close it. Sorry.
Turn this shit off. I mean.
Oh, man. Who came up with that logo, Adrian? The Knights one.
I drew it.
Did you? No, you didn't.
I had the guy who did the other logo do that one.
Hidden talent of mine is I can draw. Next time, we'll go over something, and I'm gonna bring some pictures on it. I did realism art. I did AP art back in the day. I got some skills, but couldn't do that.
Use your boy Adrian because I need a couple. Like I'm not worried about it. I just want another one off of my logo.
Oh yeah, I'll let you know. I'll shoot you a message.
It's only Adrian's stuff, dude. That's only his secret. He doesn't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna steal it. Like hey, I need you to make me the same thing as you make Adrian, just a different logo, and different let me get mine first. Whatever he's paying you, I'll give you $50 more. It's like,
guys, what other jobs have y'all had other than HVAC? What else have y'all done?
Marine Corps.
Because I've been a truck driver. I've been an EMT. I was a tattoo artist for a short while.
What?
Kurt, come on down here. I need some aim, bro.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good at it. Like I said, a short while.
Oh, okay.
A short while. I wasn't good at it.
I used to run a valet back in the day, but really this was it, man. This is what my dad did. So I went into this and been there ever since. I left HVAC for a little bit, trying to boycott it. I was like, man, fuck this shit. Went to work with a friend for a bakery. You might know this, Kraus. H&S Bakery.
H&S, baby.
Yeah, no, yeah, fuck that. You got to get there at like 1 o'clock in the morning to start loading your truck. And then I got some shitty route in like Virginia, still wouldn't get back till like 3 o'clock. And I'm like, you know what? HVAC wasn't that bad. I'm going back. This stuff sucks. You know, the whole free bread and the little side gig. I was like selling hamburgers and hot dog rolls to like little sporting places. Like I'd come in, drop it off, take the money and shit. Like I'm selling them drugs. That wore off after a while. I was like, it sucks.
Straight up. Yeah, that's right. You gotta do it now. I worked with disabilities. I worked at McDonald's, Roy Rogers, went into the Army, got into HVAC, did CNC machine mechanic work, worked on like Harley Davidson part manufacturer and HVAC. Yeah.
I've done everything from delivering pizzas to bagging groceries to
hell yeah.
Worked at a machine shop. I enjoyed that. I liked making stuff out of metal.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
That was cool.
I just worked at Sam's Club and then I got into HVAC. So
unbelievable.
I did a side gig for my father-in-law. He retired, but he used to own an import-export business that they would ship stuff overseas, and like he made a fortune during the war. So him and his partner developed the crate that ships drone planes. He still makes money off of that. My in-laws are loaded, but being able to do that and like build the wood and build all that stuff like using wood and stuff, like that was pretty cool because I was never like a carpenter, so that was actually fun. And you had to be exact because when you build that shit, they'd have an inspector come. When something's not square, you can like smack it and make it straight. Like they wouldn't let you. Yeah, they'd be like, no, tear that shit down and rebuild it. So that was fun,
Love it. Shoot, good stuff. Good stuff. We should have dived into that like a full segment. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, before you guys close out, so I don't have to message each and every one of you. I would like all three of you individually to come on my show, please.
Sure.
Never got to do
it.
Okay, we'll make it work. Is that you, Kraus? Is that
you? There's a mole there.
Right.
You'll feel it.
All right, we're going off the rails here.
All right, cool. Yeah, for sure. That was fantastic.
Yeah. I can't be on the show this long. It's not mine because I'll get in trouble. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're good, man. Thanks for being on.
No, this is what HVAC Nights is for, man. I didn't want to do this on my podcast because I have
we need to bring it over there too. We're hijacking.
No, this is a safe place.
Safe place.
Mark is asking if we'll be at the award show. I think all of us might be, right?
We'll be there.
Yep.
I bought tickets, but I gotta get a dang tuxedo or something.
Nah, dude,
just dress up nice.
Yeah, or you can just wear a suit or something. Like I wear a tux. I'm presenting. Yeah, I'm presenting podcast of the year this year, so I want to make sure that I look.
We'll make sure. Hey guys, make sure.
Well, I got a nice suit.
Yeah,
I got a nice suit. I got mine from Amazon last year and let you try it for 14 days for free. Brought it back home, returned that shit. We good.
I told Ben I was going to get the Dumb and Dumber suit, and he was like,
"That's what I wanted to get, bro."
Yeah, but I couldn't do it. The top hat and everything. I just want to walk in like.
I'm gonna go in as bro. That would be hilarious.
They've already announced their awards. I didn't get that cleanest truck award. I was lobbying for it too.
They ain't announced it yet.
Yeah, you don't know the winners yet.
They do it.
Oh, I thought I saw something come out with Chiller Chick.
That was probably last year's.
Yeah,
must have been.
So they're doing nominations, but you won't find out who wins. Like Ben won't even tell you.
Ben,
if you win.
Ben doesn't like telling anything. So
like
that must have been from last year.
Yeah. I don't know who won podcast of the year. He won't tell me, even though I'm presenting the award. He'll tell me when I get there because I had no idea when I won. Especially being up there with Kirsten M and Brian Orr. I was like, well, it's fun being nominated.
Yeah. That's the way to do it, though, man.
Podcast of the year, though. We got Mr. Gill on the show tonight. I appreciate you for coming out, man.
Oh, of course, man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
North County in the house.
Yeah, see, Knights, and I wore the North County Knights hat. See, I was trying to.
We're there, baby. We know.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have any other topics or quick things to close on before we
I
end.
feel like good, so
No, no,
Please
I
call
think
Blue
of.
On. They feed my kids and don't talk shit about them on the shows, please. Like you talk good about them. All right. Like, just kidding. No, but I'm the first one. If you have a problem, message me. In all honesty, to circle back. If you ever have an issue, reach out to me. Anybody that I ever sponsor, and you're like, hey, Gil said this, and that's not the service you're getting. Let me know, because I'm the first one to call them and be like, hey, man, this isn't fucking cool. So
it's true. Okay, yeah, true story. Guys, it was a pleasure.
Yep.
Y'all are
Yeah,
awesome.
I enjoyed it.
Thanks for coming.
This was
on,
a good
Jason.
one.
Thank you, Gil.
yep. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I just want to. I mean, every now and then we might do this, like where somebody can come in and chime in on the topic. Yeah, we'll talk about it. But if you guys have any, like photos or things that you want us to maybe react to or talk about, you guys can email thehvacnights@gmail.com, and I can do what I did tonight, just pull up the pictures and we can talk about it. I think that's another segment we could do too.
Solid, for sure.
All right, fellas.
Thank you, man.
Y'all.
I enjoyed it.
All right, I'm gonna close out the show. I'll see you guys.
I already did. That's why I just kept.
All right, thank you.
Well, I was making sure. All right, bye.